Wicked Smart Podcast. We're going live.
Control. So the format isn't nothing. 5 words: make the prospect status quo expensive, produce measurably better leads than a 25-word descriptive version, and both beat no definition. That's a real signal. Okay. So then it goes on. I'll share this with you guys later, but I don't know if kind of interesting, just the idea of can you be very general and get a very good outcome by just nailing the actual point that you're really after.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I think, Rich, it just comes back to, which is also a really good lesson, and we've talked about it before, and we probably should talk about it again, but the difference between outcome and method prompting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the models are starting to get smarter and smarter, and the smarter they're getting, we really do change the way that we talk to them. Like, we don't hear about prompt engineering anymore. We don't say things, you are a very successful,
No.
those things aren't as important as outcome oriented. This is what I'm trying to achieve. Let's unpack it. How do we get there?
Yeah, which makes using AI, which really, this is, just talking about my wife again, like when she and I were talking about this weekend, she's like, well, I don't know all the steps to tell it, how to do this. I said, do you know what you want?
Mhm.
Yeah, I know exactly what I want. I want a map of my house so I can design different rooms. Okay, great. So you give it the outcome that you want, and then you let it do the rest, and it will, and if you're not happy with it, then you can challenge it, but where you're going. As long as you know where you're going, the AI will figure out how to get you there. If you try to tell the AI how to get you where you're going, it's going to try to follow exactly what you say, and then that means that you believe you know the best route to get there, which none of us should be ignorant enough to think that we know better than the AI to get there.
Going from South Florida to California.
Right. There's many
Why would you
routes.
want to do that, right? But if you're going to tell it everything, then what's the purpose? As opposed to saying, hey, optimize the best route for speed, time, scenery, gas mileage, all those different things. But then to tell it all, but I definitely want to do this. I want to take Route 66. At a certain, I guess you can, but at a certain point, it's better to let it optimize it based on what your goals are.
Yeah, and I have found also that when Rich taught me about the difference between outcome and method prompt, first of all, he did a test with me live in front of some people when we were sitting there smoking a cigar. And he said, okay, you do your prompt, I do mine. And my prompt was okay, you are this and your goal is this and don't do this. And I was very method based because that's what I had done. And Rich's prompt was go do this and here's what I want. And it came, and his plan that it derived was so much better and deeper than mine that I was like, gosh, that could totally change everything I've built with AI. So what I did the week after is I went back in and I said, I want you to review all of the skills I've built, all of the prompts that we've engineered together, all of the agents we've built together. And I want to know how many of them are being forced to follow a specific method that I gave you directions on versus prompts and skills that are outcome based. And virtually my whole system was method based. So I changed all these, and the outcomes that I'm getting are completely different. And what I did after that, because I'm like, well, I don't want to keep making this mistake, is I told Claude, I said, hey, take the whole conversation that Rich and I had about outcome versus method prompting. I want you to then go do research on the difference between outcome and method prompting. And I want to create what is called the brain dump skill, so that make it a slash command. So I can just do slash brain dump, and I can talk for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however many minutes I want. And then it takes my brain dump that is all over the place. It restructures it into a really, really strong outcome prompt. And then I run that prompt, and it just makes your machine run so much
Rich,
efficiently.
For the manifesto, can I give you a name for that I love just listening to this, what Donnie said and over the talk? Because it just has that nice sound. Call it the Machiavelli Method, right? It's the ends justify the means. So let's focus on the ends. The means will be justified. Like, you figure out the means, the Machiavelli Method. People can get to it because we just want to get to the ends, and you justify the means. You're the AI. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. You're there to do that. You're Machiavelli.
The